Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The shadows of misty yesteryears. The good times and the bad you've seen and all the others in between. Remember. Do you remember the times of your life? And just like that, he gone. Christian Kirk. Exit. Duval. Long time coming. It's not a surprise, right? I mean, overpaid a wide receiver who can't stay healthy, a wide receiver who is aging, a wide receiver who has dropped enormous balls in crucial times, including during the divisional round of the playoffs a couple of years ago against Kansas City. I'm conflicted here because he's a pro's pro. You're not going to find anyone who has ever spoken or knows Christian Kirk that's going to say anything bad about him. This team has desperately been missing leaders. And he was one, albeit he was a silent leader. Okay, I remember him answering all the questions this year when they just got bombed in Buffalo. I mean, why did they even make the trip to Buffalo? I mean, that was gross. That was awful. You should have had firings after that game. But Christian Kirk, stood up and answered every question. And unfortunately, there's not enough leadership. Hopefully that begins to change for the positive. That's one thing that they are going to miss. I think it helped aid Brian Thomas Jr., at least somewhat. As a rookie, I certainly wouldn't look at Gabe Davis, and if I was to use words to describe him, a great leader would not be one. But the contract was just awful, and there was no way out of it. Jacksonville had to make this move. They free up $10,440,000. According to overthecap.com, the latest is Jacksonville at $47,582,000 to spend. And, of course, the legal tampering period is well underway coming up on Monday. And I got to believe now Jacksonville's going to make a splash here. I really do. I'm still trying to figure out what is the James Gladstone tenure going to be like. Remember when Dave Caldwell came here and he had all of the cash? He had tons of cash. And I think he looked at it realistically. The Mike Mularkey year, as I say often, was the worst talent that I've ever seen on a Jacksonville Jaguars roster. And it didn't get much better early on with Gus Bradley. But Dave Caldwell has a lot of faults. And it wasn't a great, it wasn't a great general managership for him in Jacksonville. I actually read something the other day he had to say about, I think it was Ryan O'Halloran who had the piece about how he did not do well during the COVID process. And absolutely, I don't want to spend more time on a former GM, but my point being is there was an opportunity in those years to overspend, to go out and get some guys and bring them, and he elected not to. His plan was to build through the draft. Unfortunately, good players that were drafted then were a pain in the ass, and they ended up asking their way out of Jacksonville. Exact opposite situation here with Christian Kirk, where at the time when he was brought in, there was a little bit of, wait a minute, he was the third best wide receiver in Arizona. Remember how he set the market for a guy who had never had 1,000 yards receiving and, was considered undersized and certainly a slot-only wide receiver. It was a good career for Christian Kirk. But everything really went sideways for him, for the most part, after that playoff loss right? After that drop against Kansas City. 12 games a year ago, 57 receptions, 787 yards, an average of 13-8 and 3 touches. Okay. If he was to give you 17 games, the projection there would have been pretty good. He would have been up over 80 balls. He would have been up over 1,000 yards. But you can't look at it that way. He was injured. Last year, just a disaster, okay? Missed 9 football games last year. Caught 27 balls, 379 yards, and a touchdown. No matter which way you look at it, the production does not come close to equaling what he was getting paid. So the move is made today. It will be official, at some point next week. And Jacksonville now absolutely, and they've already been in the market for a number 2 wide receiver, because I think as fans, we all saw this coming. Now, some of you still wanted him to be on the roster. I understand that. But I think most said, nuh-uh, you're just going to move along. And, I've identified 8 things, and I've been going through them during the offseason. My blueprint on 8 things that the Jaguars have to do as far as their biggest decisions is something I've had written down for quite some time. Christian Kirk was number 1 on that list, okay? And in my opinion, it was cut him. Done. Number 2, it's Evan Ingram. I'm going to keep Evan Ingram. Do you restructure Evan Ingram? This is the final year of his deal. He's got some voidable years, contractually speaking, that are coming up this year. You look at his cap number, it's $19,485,000 for a non-blocking tight end. Almost a wide receiver who certainly a couple of years ago when he was healthy had an incredible year. I keep hearing, depending on what you want to believe, because we still don't know. We don't know completely what James Gladstone's philosophy is. We don't know for sure what type of defense this team is going to run. I think we have a really good feeling about the style of offense, right? I mean, it seems like Liam Cohen is going to bring with him over here a very similar offense that we saw last year in Tampa Bay. A lot of screens, snaps under center, 2 running backs, an offensive line that's nasty. This team won games last year doing it without Michael Evans, doing it without Chris Godwin. I keep hearing, does Evan Ingram fit into this offense? I don't know the answer to that question at this particular point. I think he's savvy enough. I think he's good enough that he helps this team. I would keep Evan Ingram. That's number 2 on my list, and that's been all along. Cut Christian Kirk. Number 2, cut Evan Ingram. And, the others we've gotten into, maybe I'll get to it a little bit later on tonight, just for the sake of it. Number 3 to me is whether or not to trade Devin Lloyd. Number 4 to me is to whether or not to trade Travis Etienne, which I'll tell you right now is a no. I'm not trading him. I think he's going to benefit perhaps more than anyone else with this new offense. Number 5, do you pick up the extension of Trayvon Walker? Hell yeah. Yes. Boy, did he make some money today by doing nothing, the Max Crosby deal. And people are like, how can you compare him to Max Crosby? How can you say that, I'm not comparing him to Max Crosby. But his agency is going to do that. His agents are going to do that. You think they're just going to avoid it? Wait till Aiden Hutchinson gets his deal. Do you think Brock Purdy's as good as Joe Burrow? Do you think Brock Purdy's as good as Patrick Mahomes? Wait till you see the deal that Brock Purdy gets. It's the next man up. That's the way the league works. The risk with Trayvon Walker would be if you let him play out the final 2 years, which I would. We had this conversation a year ago. I said, don't sign Trevor Lawrence. You all got angry at me. I said, why? What's the hurry? Oh, it's going to reap its benefits at the end of the contract. Okay, we'll find out. I'm here for it. Trayvon Walker getting that deal done? No way. I want to see more. First of all, find a position for him. We don't know what the defense is going to be like. Is it a 3-4? Is it a 4-3? Are they going to sign another edge? Are they going to move him inside in pass situations? If it is a 3-4, does he start as a big defensive end? Does he start as an outside linebacker? We don't know the answer to these questions. I still haven't gotten over since the day they drafted him, and I went out to rookie minicamp, and I saw him working with Bill Shuey as an outside linebacker. I mean, I almost started ripping hairs out of my head. I'm like, you're drafting this guy number 1, and you're going to make him an outside linebacker? And that's what so they haven't really, and he's gotten better. But I'm going to pick up the option. That's number 5 for me. I'll get back to this in a little bit because I want to dive into it a little bit. Number 6 for me is free agency. Okay, Monday. You got to get 2 starters. Now, I believe they're getting a safety, but I rank safety 5 on team needs. Okay, that's 5 for me. It's wide receiver. It's right guard. It's defensive tackle. It's cornerback. It's safety. I feel like they're going to get a safety early next week. I also kind of want to believe they're going to get a corner. Okay? Very plentiful market at corner and at safety. You're going to have to overspend. And, that's just the way it is in free agency. You don't get hometown discounts. You don't get bargains. If you're going to be a leader here, if you're going to be a spender here, you become a trendsetter. And your price becomes absolutely out of this world. And there's always a risk about doing that. So anyway, 2 starters at a minimum next week in free agency. Obviously, this 5th pick in the draft has to be more than just a starter. He has to be a difference maker. I don't care where you go, whether it's Mason Graham or you do anything else. I like Will Campbell. At 5, people are going to yell. They're going to drive off the road. They're going to say, Ballou, you don't take a guard at 5. I get it. Maybe you can move down a little bit. But nonetheless, that's number 7. Then number 8, you got to get at least 2 more starters the rest of the way. 2nd round, 2 third rounds, 2 fourth rounds, no matter where it is. There's still other positions. Obviously, the right guard is so important. The offensive line, maybe, possibly. Adding another starter, to me, that would shake up the entire organization. If they went out next week in free agency and spent money on an offensive lineman who's not even a right guard, maybe it is Dahlman out of Atlanta or center, whatever it may be. Got to remember that Liam Cohen and James Gladstone were very outspoken about the offensive line, and I loved it. To me, that was the best part of both of their press conferences, their opinion on the offensive line. So 2 more starters, that's number 8. Anyway, I just wanted to go through that real quick. I know I've been mentioning them by point, but it starts today. Jacksonville can create another $4.26 million by saying goodbye to Josh Reynolds. He's not part of the plan. There's no dead cap money. So take that $47.5 million. All of a sudden, man, you're up around $52 million. You got an opportunity to do some things with this football team, and that is certainly encouraging. Okay. When we come back, I got a lot on the plate here as we go into the night on this Wednesday. DK Metcalf available. I'm going to start with that. Such a tease, right? Bring DK Metcalf here, put him on the other side of Brian Thomas Jr., and what do you have? Okay? Why do I believe that this would be a catastrophe? Why do I believe right now that DK Metcalf would never live up to the contract? Okay? I'd rather go for an aging wide receiver and get less years. Devontae Adams, a 2-year deal. Give him $10 million, $11 million a year, whatever. And that's kind of a Band-Aid, right? That's not you're going to the Super Bowl. But that's okay for right now. Or, the whole Chris Godwin situation, coming off a major injury. We know what Jacksonville did last year in free agency. It was a disaster. And it was because their key free agent players were all coming off of injuries. DK Metcalf makes $18 million a year. It's the final year of his contract. This guy wants to get paid like Jefferson. This guy wants to get paid like Higgins is going to get paid. This guy wants to get paid the way that Chase is going to get paid. He's not as good. He's not. He's not as good. Okay, now he could be a compliment. He could be a really good number two, but if you're talking about spending $30-some-odd million a year for DK Metcalf, no, it's not going to work. I can tell you right now. You know, I feel like I visited a palm reader or whatever. I just, am I wrong? Do you see it differently? Are you like, no. Make a deal. Go out and get him. You're going to have to get him and sign him. We saw the blueprint a year ago with Hassan Reddick. Okay, DK Metcalf's not going to come here on a one-year deal and play it out. This guy's a diva. He's going to whine. He's going to cry until you pay him. And Jacksonville can't make that trade until they put together probably a 3 to 4 year contract extension. You're talking about the guy then getting up into the age of 30, 31. I'm going to open it up for you, as I always do, to offer your opinion, but I just do not see it working with DK Metcalf. I'm going to stay away from that. But again, we'll give you the opportunity. The best way to get in is always on our text line, which is 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. The good folks on YouTube joining us tonight. You can get us there at 1010XL into the night. And, of course, on Twitter at 1010XL. All right, opening comments tonight and every night brought to you by the good folks at Shmunez Vision, where they have just welcomed in recently Dr. John Hunt. He is an ophthalmologist. And whether it's cosmetic, okay, that is part of their practice. That includes a specialty with eyelids, or it's something far more significant and or serious, talking about cataract surgery. You include Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez. You're talking well more than 30 years worth of experience. Also, they will sit down and discuss everything with you. You're not going to get that everywhere. You know, it's all about making the fast buck. So they get you in, they get you out. When you have questions about surgery, they're going to say, I'm sorry, I can't speak to you because I have another patient. Walk down the hall there and go visit your surgery counselor. Okay. You're going to visit a surgery counselor? How about talking to the person who actually will perform the surgery? That's what you get at Shmunez Vision. Check them out online. Shmunez Vision. Also go to Instagram. You can get all the testimonials there at Shmunez Vision as well. What a busy day in the NFL. The end of Christian Kirk. Want your thoughts on that as well as we dive into a Wednesday right here on the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Where incredible lives.
Every single player had an incredible moment.
1010XL.
Jacksonville runs on dreams, and Haymaker Coffee is a local brand fueling the next generation. Keep each day strong with a Haymaker. Fuel for the morning hustle, the late night, and every step of the way. Bold flavors for the bold city. Online at haymakercoffeeco.com.
Hey, Jacksonville. You know what you get when you play a country song backwards. You get your wife back, your truck back, your dog, your SUV, and your job back. Well, at Garber Auto Mall, you don't have to play the country song backwards. We understand that bad things happen to good people, and we're here to help. With 8 all-American brands, Ford, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Chevy, Buick, GMC, and a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles in stock. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com.
Did you know your pup could take 30,000 to 60,000 steps a day at Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard? That's a whole lot of tail wagging fun with their best furry friends. At Dogtopia, they turn playtime into exercise, learning, and socialization in their off-leash, open play environment. Dogs build confidence, reduce anxiety, and stay happy and healthy, all while having the time of their lives. Visit Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard today.
poker players. The Run Good Poker Series is coming to Best Bet Jacksonville from April 24th to May 4th with 10 poker events, including the $1,200 main event, hosting a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool, and event number 1, a $400 no-limit hold'em tourney with a $200,000 guarantee. The action is non-stop. One in, win your seat through satellite starting April 4th at Best Bet Jacksonville. For all the Run Good Series structures and details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Friday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL's Gator Bites podcast wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here. In the past 10 years, the weight loss industry has seen it all. New medications, fad diets, sculpting, and still, Awaken 180 continues to stand alone as the proven solution for weight loss online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Hey, this is David with Royal Pest Services. The fact that we've been bundled up the past month gave us an idea. Let's bundle up also with our Centricon and Pest Control bundle, starting at $349. Visit RoyalPestServices.com for your free inspection.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is Max Fink with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Buying a diamond, wedding band, or piece of fashion jewelry in Jacksonville? You have two choices. You can go to locally owned Beard's Diamonds, or you can go to one of those mega national chain jewelry stores. The national chains are pretty much all the same. In fact, did you know that some of them are owned by the same conglomerate? Yes, the same Wall Street company owns all the big names. So if you're looking for extreme value with genuine personal attention, come experience the Beard's Diamond difference. At Beard's, our diamonds come straight from the source. We hand select each one for maximum brilliance. We don't have to apply corporate markups and tack on salespeople commissions, so we beat the chains on price every single day. Beard's has the strongest warranties, not gotcha clauses in fine print. Beard's has all the top designers, including Tocory and Veragio. Beard's doesn't have out-of-state regional managers calling about sales quotas. We are all local, family-owned with total freedom to do what's right for our customers. Beard's Diamonds, all the selection, quality, value, and service you want from local people, accountable only to you. Beard's in the St. John's Town Center.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Good morning, yesterday.
tears spilling in Duval. Just want to tell you to try to remember the good times with Christian Kirk. Let the bad times go. Let the possible game-winning play against the Kansas City Chiefs in the divisional round of the playoffs, let it go. Just remember, this guy made $24 million, man. He is set for life. And he's going to get paid. He's going to find work. He's a good guy. He's a good football player. There will be another opportunity for Christian Kirk. Stop holding on to these players, folks. It's about the jersey. It's not about the back of it. It's about the jersey. These players come and go, come and go, come and go. Paul Anka, by the way, what a song. Times of Your Life. Ask your mom and dad about it. Tonight's divorcee night, right? All you young bucks out there, maybe if you're aging a little bit, head out. Find yourself your next wife. Let us know where it's good. Hit us up here, 641-1010 on the text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You knew this was coming. We all knew it was coming, Dylan. Not a surprise. And they do have to eat $13,650,000 worth of dead cap money, so it does come with a price. It does come with a price.
Yeah, not surprised at all. Liam Cohen and Gladstone were both asked at the Combine last week. They're like, yeah, we haven't had those conversations. We all know that they've had those conversations. They just don't tell us. So you move on with Kirk, and now the question is, do you pounce on a free agent receiver next week, or do you get one in the draft and wait a month?
I like them. They have to do one or the other, obviously. It's a bear group right now. I mean, you've got Parker Washington now as your starter at slot, and you have Brian Thomas Jr. You have a superstar, right? And you've got an abomination on the other side in Gabe Davis. There was a list that came out today at Sports Illustrated, buyer beware, looking back at the 5 worst free agent contracts from 2024. Number 4 and number 3, your Jacksonville Jaguars. Eric Armstead. Trent Baalke gave this guy 3 years and $43.3 million, $28 million guaranteed. Eric Armstead has done 2 things. He's done 3 things since he's been in town. Won the, what was it?
Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Congratulations. Walter Payton Man of the Year. He deserves that. Absolutely, I mean it. You know what else he's done? He's eaten and he's gone to the bathroom. That's it.
You forget about his podcast. Right?
He's done nothing, okay? He's done absolutely nothing. He got $28 million guaranteed, and he was an absolute colossal bust. There's no other way to say it. Now, will he be rejuvenated with a new franchise, with a new work? I hope so. I do, but year 1 sucked. And you can't even try to camouflage it. You can't even try to disguise it. Okay, just own it. He was terrible. And he played 17 games. He had 2 sacks and 7 quarterback hits. 48% of the defensive snaps last year. I want to believe he's a professional. I hope he hears negativity. I hope he hears this. Because I want him to get fired up and contribute to this football team. He was useless last year. Gabe Davis, even worse. The difference between Armstead and Davis is I was all on board about Eric Armstead. Rewind the tape. Oh, this is going to bring a presence, kind of like Calais Campbell, incredible leadership, been in big games. My God, I should be fired based on those comments. I should be talking about Canada and Mexico after making comments like that a year ago. How dare I say that? And then Eric Armstead show up and perform the way he did. Gabe Davis, 20 receptions, 239 yards. Guy making $39 million over the next 3 years. And you know what? You're stuck with this. This is like, and I feel for you if you're in this category, okay? I honestly do. But this is like being in a brutal marriage, I'm not talking about you sleep in different beds and you sleep in different rooms. I'm talking about the fact that you no longer talk to one another. Gabe Davis, for crying out loud, if they were to cut him, their dead cap figure is $20,300,000. If they were to cut Eric Armstead, it's $36 million. That's $57 million in dead cap money invested in players who did nothing a year ago. So buyer beware, right? It's a new organization. It's a clean slate. For starters, go after a healthy free agent. Eric Armstead was hurt. Gabe Davis was hurt. Darnell Savage was hurt. What is a tease is Chris Godwin. By the way, 25-1 odds of Chris Godwin coming here. Let me find this for you really quick. Because the odds for DK Metcalf to come here in Jacksonville, 25-1. Okay, the odds for Chris Godwin are 25-1. The odds for Devontae Adams are 25-1. Let me see Godwin here. What the heck did you do with it, Ballou? You got so much information. And I thought, all right, here we go. This is according to sportbetting.ag. 25-1 for Jacksonville for Chris Godwin. Carolina's 5-2. That's plus 250. Wow. Pittsburgh 3-1. Vegas 4-1. New England 6-1. The Chargers 8-1. The Packers 12-1. The Cowboys 14-1. It goes on and on and on. Texans, Cardinals, Saints, Chiefs, San Francisco, all ahead of Jacksonville. Of course, it's basically even odds right now as to whether or not Chris Godwin is going to re-sign with the Bucs. As a matter of fact, it's been inflated now. It's minus 220 for him to return to Tampa Bay, meaning you'd have to lay $220 to win 100. So it's basically overwhelming at this point that he is going to return to Tampa. However, how do you get a guy away who is expected to re-sign with the team? You overpay. You say, Godwin, slide down the road here to Duval. Okay? You overpay. You're familiar with Liam Cohen. Could happen. But based on what we have seen a year ago, just a complete disaster that it happened that way. And you know, when it comes to Chris Godwin, my opinion is if it happened, I'd support it. But a 28-year-old coming off a dislocated ankle who you do not know if he is going to be ready for the regular season, that's too big of a red flag for me at this particular point. Mason Crosby. So much talk here about the, deservedly so, the Baselli, Gladstone, Cohen three-man brass. Well, out in Vegas, it's John Spytek, it's Pete Carroll, and it's Tom Brady. And they're making moves. They say goodbye to Gardner Minshew. Mason Crosby, 3 years, $106.5 million, 91.5 of that is guaranteed. I threw out a tweet on Trayvon Walker. Some of you are hard-headed on this, okay? I get it. Trayvon Walker is not the football player that Mason Crosby is. I get it. I understand it. But that does not mean that his agency is not going to represent this player in that fashion. Someone just said it's an idiot move by me to not want to allow this man to work the final 2 years of his contract. I would pick up that fifth-year option. I would let Trayvon Walker play this year, play next year. I'm not going to make the Trevor Lawrence mistake and pay him early, okay? I'm not going to do it. Now, obviously, I don't have any say. Here's the risk. If Trayvon Walker continues to improve, and he has in his 3-year career, if he gets better and better and better, okay, in 2 years, he's gonna not dwarf it, but he's gonna make the same money as Mason Crosby, or he's gonna make more money than what Aiden Hutchinson may get next week. They may do that this early in Detroit. I don't know if they're going to wait a year. I don't know if they're going to wait 2 years. We all understand the sooner you get a deal done, the more attractive it is going to look at the back part of the contract. So it's a risk to let Trayvon Walker play the next 2 years. But here's where I stand. I don't know if in 2 years he's going to be anywhere near worth the money. And in 2 years, who knows what's going to happen to this football team, right? I mean, look at all the guys that you've loved. Look at all the guys that they just come and they go. Cam, Kirk's an example of that. That's why I say it's so sad nowadays that you really can't root for players. Instead, you got to root for the team. You got to root for the Jaguars. Rooting for individual players, in my opinion, is at an all-time low. There used to be consistency, right? Free agency came in, and we all remember it with Kurt Flood and Spencer Haywood and everything, but it wasn't as dramatic as it is now. By the way, this absolutely applies in college football as well. I mean, how can you love these college players when they just pack up and say, I'm out of here? What it's done is it's made it so difficult for you as a fan to love players on a team. It should have no effect on how you feel about the team, how you feel about the Jaguars, how you feel about the Seminoles, how you feel about the Gators, whatever it may be. It should have no effect on that. But the players, there's no trust. They come and they go. And it's not all their fault. It's ownership's fault. It's decision-making. But I just want you to, and I think most of you get it. I hate? I hate it for kids. I'm older, right? But when I grew up, man, there was Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito and Fred Lynn and Carl Yastrzemski and Jim Rice, and you just love these guys. And back then they would get traded. Espo got traded to the Rangers. Bobby Orr signed a free agent contract with the Blackhawks. I probably cried. Fred Lynn was part of that 10-player deal between the old California Angels and the Boston Red Sox. Carlton Fisk signed as a free agent because it was delivered a day late. Way back before faxes. He went to Chicago. And it was really hard on you. How hard is it when you lose today's guys, man? When 35, 40% of the roster changes year after year after year. So my final thought on this as we head to a break. I'm not paying Trayvon Walker now. I'm not paying him next year. I'm going to let him play out his contract. And if he's worth it, then you own it. And you make a decision to pay him, which is going to be an obscene amount of money, or let him walk. But where they're at right now, after paying Campbell, Hines Allen, Lawrence, Walker Little, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on Trayvon Walker. If you want to give me your opinion on that, you can as well. 641-1010, text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Into the Night on YouTube. Just go to 1010XL Into the Night. And, of course, on Twitter, same deal at 1010XL.
Your home for Gators Hoops is 1010XL.
Top 10 in the nation. Top 3 in the SEC. It's a battle of conference powers tonight in Tuscaloosa, Florida, Alabama. Hear it live at 7 on 1010 a.m.
Here's Linda Beaver.
It's a new year with new goals, but let's face it, not all resolutions are easy to keep. Maybe you promised yourself you'd eat healthier, but pizza still seems like a better idea. Or you said you'd read more, but your favorite show just launched a new season. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, we can help you keep your New Year's resolution. We offer the biggest selection, best prices, and the easiest car buying experience. Let's make a resolution to visit Beaver Toyota or Beaver Chevrolet, where we'll wow you with a new ride for the new year.
This is the sound of turning small bets into legendary wins. Only on the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app. The sound of parlays. The sound of paydays. The sound of watching the game will never be the same. Hard Rock Bet has already paid out millions and millions in parlays to people across Florida. Download Hard Rock Bet now, and if your first bet doesn't win, get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On March 5th, 1985, Mike Bossy of the New York Islanders scores his 50th goal, becoming the first NHL player to score 50 goals in 8 consecutive seasons.
Looking for comfort with who you work with? Remember, Florida Home AC only hires the best. Background checks and drug screenings for all their technicians, so you can be confident when you choose Florida Home AC. Exceptional services, their guarantee at Florida Home AC.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Now's the perfect time to order logo coffee mugs or maybe a logoed stick brand tumbler. They're seriously ice cold and look great with your company logo. Hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Florida homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Universal Roof and Contract protects your home and your wallet. Invest in a stronger roof and save big. Spend $6,000 and get up to $600 off. $15,000 up to $2,000 off. $20,000 up to $3,000 off. This deal ends March 31st. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ORDER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ORDER to 42424. That's ORDER to 42424.
Hi, I'm Joe Kenny, the founder of Here Tomorrow. Thank you to the players for helping us on our mission to ensure that all community members in need can access mental health care and live full, meaningful lives. 6 days to go.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging in the mirror? Fine lines, sun damage, redness? They don't have to be part of your future. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, and I can help you look and feel your best without invasive surgery or painful treatments. Imagine rejuvenating your skin in a relaxing, comfortable environment with minimal to no downtime. smooth out fine lines, even skin tone, and restore that youthful glow. Find out how to look and feel your best at Dermagnify.com. Dermagnify.com.
Get your Irish up. The first St. Patrick Parade was right here in St. Augustine in the year 1601. Join the fun Saturday, March the 8th at 10 a.m. Be sure and wear your green proudly. More at CelticParade.com. Sponsored by St. John's County, PDC.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, it's Max Crosby, not Mason, who's also in the news. Mason retired today after 17 years, at the age of 40. No, I got him confused there. I mean, is there a difference between Mason Crosby and Max Crosby? Appreciate all 77 of you who pointed out my mistake on the text line. 641-1010. Brought to you by Lifetime and Coaches. Hey, I want to be told when I'm doing something wrong or I'm making a mistake. What I'm not doing wrong is my opinion here on Trayvon Walker. Ride that bad boy out. Okay, number one, Christian Kirk, gone. Had to happen. My eight bullet points for this offseason. Number two, Evan Ingram. Keep him. Keep him. You know, you're going to release Josh Reynolds. That's going to put you up around $52 million that you can spend. I'm keeping Evan Ingram. I don't know how to do it at this point. Okay, he's got a couple avoidable years. I don't know if he's going to, I don't think he's going to give you a hometown discount. He kind of gave you that when he came here on a one-year show-me deal for $9.6 million. Ingram just got hurt last year. He's still a very productive wide receiver playing the position of tight end. I mean, let's face it, that's what he is. Not going to block it all for you. Not going to do anything along those lines. But I'm going to ask John Oehser about this. John's going to join me here in 12 minutes. It keeps going back and forth about how this offense, not how this offense is going to be used, but does Evan Ingram really fit into this offense? Like I said at the top of the program, in my opinion, this offense is going to be outstanding for Travis Etienne. I think he's going to get back to catching 70-plus balls like he did 2 years ago. I think the workload was shown a year ago that it's going to be tapered down a little bit for him. I think this organization wants to run. I think Tank Bigsby's putting himself in a position where he's going to get more carries. I also really believe that this team is going to go out and get a rookie tailback. Third, fourth round. I do. I just think that is going to happen. I mean, this is the final year for Etienne. You don't re-up with backs, right? Unless you're Saquon Barkley. You just don't do it. Look at all these contracts that these backs made. Remember the years of Gurley and Dalvin Cook and the list just go. What was Le'Veon Bell? I mean, they just kept signing all these back, and they never panned out. Right? Barkley's an exception, but Etienne's gone after this year. I think he's going to have a really good season. As far as Evan Ingram, I'm a little bit conflicted about that. Hey, one other note. How about the Bears? Their approach on the offensive line. I'm a little disappointed, right? The Jonah Jackson situation that happened earlier in the week. The guy got injured. The guy didn't play well. He got benched. A 3-year, $51 million deal. Chicago happens to think that a change of scenery is going to reignite Jonah Jackson this year at right guard. Now you go out and make a deal to get Joe Thuney from Kansas City. Okay, this guy's played winning football in his entire career. And they're overspending, okay? They're not giving up a lot as far as draft cap. It was a 6th rounder for Jackson. I don't know officially what it is yet for Joe Thuney. But it's going to cost you on the backside. It's going to cost you to pay those players on the interior offensive line. Again, Jacksonville hasn't done a thing yet with the OL. But that rolled in a little bit earlier today. Also, we talked about that combination of John Spytek, Tom Brady, Pete Carroll. Alex Kappa reportedly is gotten a deal done with the Las Vegas Raiders. Here's a guy that I did not want Jacksonville to go after. He was just miserable a season ago in Cincinnati. But you can tell by these early moves. I mean, 2 of the 3 were bad. Jonah Jackson was bad last year. Alex Kappa was bad last year. Teams are jumping in early to get these deals done because there really is a premium for interior offensive linemen. Now, there's still a few out there. You know, I happen to think Becton may be the best of them all. The Will Fry situation, I say it every show. I've already said it twice in this show. The guy played a handful of games last year. He got injured against Jacksonville. Can you overpay and bring in a guy who's not going to be ready? I mean, is there anything that drives you more insane than when you hear a coach talk about an injury? And in the case of last year, you're talking about a newly acquired free agent who's not healthy. It's just stupid. I mean, maybe you make one decision. Maybe they say Chris Godwin's it. We'll wait it out. And you know what? Cohen was just there. Kind of feel like you trust it, right? All right, let's trust the new regime. They know more than I do. They know what's really going on with the injury. But when you start bringing in 2 and 3, like this team did a year ago, that's pretty scary, in my opinion. Let's bring in John Oehser. Let's do that. A couple of questions I can tell you when I'm going to ask Oehser is certainly about Evan Ingram. Also, Gardner Minshew let go today. What are the Jaguars going to do at backup quarterback? Now, this isn't a front and center topic, right? But we know that Mac Jones is gone. We know that C.J. Beathard is gone. Do you just draft a rookie late? Do you spend for a proven veteran? Or are you one of those after last year that is now like me, that if you lose your quarterback, it doesn't matter. You're screwed. If you lose your starting quarterback, you're done. All right? And you can Jeff Hostetler me, and you can tell me about Nick Foles, and you can tell me about Earl Morrall back with the Dolphins in the early set. But come on. You lose your starting quarterback in pro football, you're done. So do you overspend for a veteran? Or do you just bring in some youth? We'll do that as well. That's all coming up. John Oehser will join Rick Ballou here in hour number 2.
The world will be watching Ponte Vedra.
And the Scheffler victory train just keeps on rolling.
Get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates.
Teed up by Roundtree Sauce,
Surfside Pools,
and Performance Painting
on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer. Nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Out with the old, in with the organized. Mia here for my friends at Closets by Design. Freshen up your home this spring with a custom organization solution. For a limited time, take advantage of our spring special and enjoy exclusive savings on closets, garages, home offices, and more. That's 40% off with an additional 15% off with 12-month special financing through April. Spring on this deal before it's gone. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation with Closets by Design.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
You lost your swing. We got to go find it.
It's your Saturday morning swing adjustment. Grip it and rip it. Get the golf tips and talk to take your game to the next level. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday mornings at 10 on 1010XL.
Plumbing problem, septic emergency, HVAC system not doing its job? Don't panic. Call the pros at Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. From leaks, clogged drains to septic installations and air conditioning repairs, we've got the tools and expertise to get it done right. Dial 904-862-6769 now and let our friendly team handle the dirty work so you don't have to. Remember, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for the Blue Crab Crab House. February means the Mardi Gras menu returns to the Blue Crab Crab House. Gumbo, shrimp Orleans, blackened redfish, appetizers, dessert, and more. This includes, of course, their regular menu where you get crabs from the Alaskan waters, the Canadian waters, the Southern Georgia waters. It's only at the Blue Crab Crab House. Doors open at 4:30, San Jose, and, of course, Julington Creek Road.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and you got really cool things going on right now because there's new product coming in the showroom. Tell everybody about the Aprilia Demo Days.
March 11th and 12th, it's a Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to have the Aprilia Demo Truck. We caught them on the way back from Daytona Bike Week. They're going to be there. Come ready to ride.
Tell everybody real quick about Aprilia.
They are a bad Italian motorcycle. Nobody's ever ridden an Italian anything and said that wasn't fun.
Check it out. Cycles of Jacksonville, all the details on their Facebook page.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Do you know someone looking for a fun and rewarding summer job? Join the YMCA team, gain valuable experience, and make a difference in kids' lives. Turn your passion for this community into a fulfilling career at the First Coast YMCA. Now hiring camp counselors, lifeguards, child care leaders, and membership experience team. Every single person on the dedicated YMCA staff plays a role in making the Y a welcoming and vital resource for our community. Find your career at the Y at fcymca.org.
Equal opportunity employer.
Getting a pool? David Garrard here. I just did. But before they dug, I called Clearwater Irrigation, and they capped off all my sprinkler lines so the pool company could just dig away.
Then when your pool's finished, we'll install your sprinkler system back to full coverage.
And now my backyard oasis is getting watered beautifully.
And maybe then, Dave, I could take another quick dip.
Bigger swimming trunks, John. Much bigger.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh No's.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, it's time for John Oehser, senior writer, Jaguars.com. And he joins Rick Ballou. Hello, John.
Rick, how are you, buddy?
Doing outstanding. Yep, absolutely. All right, Christian Kirk, not a surprise because of the contract and the injury, but, kind of mixed feelings here in town. He was a pro's pro. He was a very good player when healthy, but, that contract, when it was all said and done, just too much for this organization.
Yeah, I got the idea from talking to people at the Combine that nobody wants to release a guy like Christian Kirk, right? I mean, He's everything you want in a player, a teammate. Everybody understood the relationship he had with Trevor. Not only that, I think any fan who's ever run into Christian Kirk knows what a humble, polite, off the field and really good on the field. I think a couple of things. Obviously, the contract and the fact that he hadn't finished the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And if anybody sort of understands how that works, it's Christian Kirk. He's an 8th-year guy. He understands the league. I hope that he's one of these guys that over time can have a relationship with the organization. He's the kind of guy that you sort of want to be associated with it long term. But I think it sort of had to happen. And I was thinking today after he got released, the biggest reason that you would have tried to keep him is because of that comfort level with Trevor. Because Trevor's been a better player when Christian's on the field. But Trevor's got what you hope 13, 14 years ahead of him in this league, or bare minimum a long swath of time. At some point, he's got to get used to, Christian Kirk not being that guy. So I think now with the transition point, moving to an offense, if you had to do it, I guess now's the right time. Although I think, like a lot of people, Rick, I hated to see it happen.
Yeah. You wrote about this on Jaguars.com, talking about Liam Cohen, which I love, when he said this offense is going to absolutely run through Brian Thomas Jr., and he gave us all the ways that he is going to be used. Then all of a sudden, Evan Ingram comes up, and it's like, yeah, you keep him. When healthy, he's a big part of it. And then others will say, well, wait a minute here. He may not be suited for the Liam Cohen style of offense. What's your understanding here with Evan Ingram?
Well, I think, at his best, I think Evan Ingram can fit into offenses. I mean, maybe not a great fit, but, I think he could certainly contribute. I think the thing you wonder is, and let me clarify this by saying I feel the same way about Evan as I do Christian. As a duo, they're two of my favorite players to cover. Mm-hmm. And I was always happy when they did well. Yeah. But if you look at Evan Ingram the last couple of years, a lot of catches, not a lot of downfield stuff. Last year, he didn't have the yards per catch that you would like out of the position. And Brenton Strange, per catch, per play, all that stuff was more productive. So I think the fact that he didn't finish the year as well last year, I don't know what the future holds for Evan. I hope he's here, but I think the same conversation could be had around Evan as Christian. Is it time to make that break? Is it time to say, okay, we're building this way? I had thought this morning before all this happened, if I had to let one go, I would have probably regrettably chosen Evan, because I just think Trevor's been so much better when Christian's been on the field. I don't know that holds as true for Evan, although he's been a safety blanket. So, look, in saying all this, I'm setting the table. I hope he's back, and I think there's a chance he's back. And I think if he is, he's a veteran enough to fit in. I don't think he's the guy in this offense forever, but he could certainly help you bridge, because tight end's tougher to find than receiver, even though the position is, clearly gaining its importance as we go.
John Oehser is our guest. He is the senior writer at Jaguars.com. Make sure you get everything from John and his staff. Just go to Jaguars.com. All right, the last few days has been just crazy, at wide receiver. DK Metcalf wants to, force a trade. He's got a year left, $18 million. Godwin, you can get coming off an injury as early as Monday in free agency. Devontae Adams. The list just goes on and on and on. We're trying to figure out what this new regime is going to be like. Do they sniff around any one of these players? Do you see that happening? Or do you think they maybe go for a wide receiver down the road a little bit that doesn't cost as much and then really address this during the draft?
I'd be surprised if you see, I'm not going to say no splashes. I'd be surprised if you see them go headline grabbing guy. Remember headlines, Rick? They used to be in newspapers.
I miss him, actually. I miss him.
I'd be surprised at receiver. I think they're going to need to address the position and find, right now without Christian Kirk, you're down to Gabe Davis, who, a TBD on what that is after last year, and Parker Washington, who I don't really think he's a replacement for Christian Kirk, but we'll see. So I think you're going to need to address it in the draft and something in free agency. But I think at the start of this, I think it's going to be about more guys that fit what they're doing and building the culture and adding to what they have. I don't know that you're going to see splash, especially at wide receiver. That would, I don't know this for sure, but just based on what you feel from the combine, it would surprise me.
Yeah. I was on at the combine with you this year. I know you were, and there's always a ton of rumors at the combine. But did this year stick out with more guys that are asking for a trade, more trades that we could see? I mean, we've seen the Bears address their offensive line now twice in the last couple of days. Was this year more than you've ever witnessed?
Well, I don't know if it's more than I've ever witnessed. I see it as sort of part of a trend. A couple of thoughts on this. Yes, teams are trading more than maybe 10 years ago when you felt like trades were the outliers and teams just didn't like doing them. The other side is I think you are seeing far more guys, quote, asking for a trade or forcing a trade. And, Rick, I'm the old man shouting the clouds. I say, hey, you can ask all you want, but, you can also sit on our team and not play.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I just think it's gone overboard. But, again, I'm aware that in me saying that, there's younger people driving around in their cars going, yeah, great zone. Time to get out of this if you think that way. But, I see it as a trend that's not going to stop because teams are more willing to sort of juggle their cap a little bit and make that happen. And you've had success with it with quick turnarounds. I would be surprised, again, if the Jags are short-term gain for long-term pain this year. When Gladstone was talking last week, the thing that I heard that I really thought stood out, he didn't say no free agency, but he talked a lot more philosophically about the draft and liking those picks and liking the fact they had 20 over the next 2 years. He's not going to say no free agency, but it feels like they're going to be smart with free agency and I try to build this thing. I like that. It may not make people happy at 1 o'clock Monday when they're refreshing their pages.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking now about, $47.5 million, which is available under the salary cap. And
They're going to use it. I just think it's going to be splashed.
Yeah. I'm all about a wide receiver and a right guard. Why do I believe Monday or Tuesday it's a safety and possibly a corner? What's your thought on free agency?
Well, I think you could see them use. They have $47 million, so I think you could see them get a lot of positions, and there may be a lot of positions where the average fan goes, huh? Because they don't really, they haven't heard of them. And sorry, Rick, and they're not the guy that is at the top of the list. Remember, this is a team right now with a new GM, new coach, new EVP, and they keep on talking about how they're introducing the culture, the ecosystem, right? So when you do that, you've got to bring in some guys at a lot of positions who buy into what you do. So I think you're going to see – I think they feel like they may need 2 or 3 defensive backs and a wide receiver and a guard and one more guy at edge. I don't think you'll see them spend big in one and minimize the other. But I do think I think you're going to see them spread it out and have a new feel of a lot of – if you're just looking for the splash and for them to show up on a free agency win list with 3 of the top 20 guys on the list, I don't think you're going to see it. But I think you're going to see different guys at the position who they feel like are going to fit into what they want to do.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And if that's the case, chances are that they're really not going to address that on Monday. They may allow the market to set itself before they make these moves.
Yeah, and they may go after guys, agents a lot of times there's some guys who are waiting around to Tuesday to push their guy after the first wave. There's some guys who know what know what their guys are and know how they're going to fit, who want to get them in the right spot quickly. So are they going to be the first guy? Remember, Jawan Taylor signed at 12:01 a couple of years back, or agreed to terms at 12:01 on Monday. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be in that wave, but by 4 or 5 o'clock, when it sounds crazy, when the market has time to settle down after 3 hours.
Yep.
But I think then you may see some evening type stuff of teams. I mean, agents and players who know what they're looking for and know where they want to be. I could see sort of a mix of that.
All right, last one for you, John. Mac Jones, C.J. Beathard, free agents. I happen to be one of those who believes that if you go to a backup quarterback, you're not going to go far in this league. Do they go, a Gardner Minshew, a backup that has starts, or do you think they use a 4th, 5th round draft pick and get a rookie quarterback?
I think you could do both. Meaning this, I'm not saying Minshew. Not that if it is, it is. I think backup quarterback makes sense. As I'm prepping for this, I'm looking for guys who have connection to something with what Liam Cohen does, because you're talking about Trevor Lawrence learning a system. It feels like you would want as many guys around him, and even a guy in the room who can instinctively, when something goes on film, say, hey, go to the X there. Or, just instinctively sort of know it. So I'm kind of looking around. I mean, no specific names, but I would think somebody who's been attached to that system would make sense. And then draft a rookie that you can bring along and have 3 guys in the hopper, so to speak. So I think that's what it feels like. In talking to Tony Baselli earlier this week for something that'll run later this week, he said, you got to remember, it's great to have a plan in free agency. But at 12-15, you're deleting the first draft and figuring out the second.
Yeah.
A lot of times, because guys are just going different directions, and you're learning about what's going on. So you're not deleting, but you have to be willing to adjust in free agency. So all this stuff we're talking about, different conversation on Monday.
Maybe he goes after Kyle Trask and really upsets all those Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans.
I mean, something like that in that ilk.
Yeah.
The other positions don't mean that much on that, but in that ilk, it does make sense to have a guy who can look at that scheme and not be learning it while Trevor's trying to learn it.
Yeah. For the record, I wasn't saying Gardner Minshew. I was just referencing him as a veteran. I don't want to have.
Hey, Minshew mania, baby.
46 career starts. Let go today. Obviously Vegas is going to make a huge move here coming up at quarterback, whether it's in free agency or the draft. We will see. Sam Darnold could end up there. It could be one of the guys you saw last week in Indy with Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. All right, folks, make sure you read John Oehser and his entire staff. Just go to Jaguars.com. John, of course, is the senior writer. Thanks, John.
Rick, thanks, buddy.
All right, there he goes. Good stuff there from John Oehser. I appreciate his input on this approach. I said all along I think they're going to get a safety, but I've talked about a 3rd or 4th edge. Right? I've talked about a guard who necessarily they don't overpay for, a guy that could be possibly competing for a job, or if not, competing for one of the 4 backup jobs. And I'm glad John Oehser spelled it out that way because, and this would apply to a lot of wives, perhaps now ex-wives. Just because you have $47 million, it doesn't mean you have to spend it, right? You can save a tiny bit for a rainy day. When we do return, it's time to get you involved with the program. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can get us on YouTube. Just go to 1010XL into the night, and on Twitter as well at 1010XL.
1010XL is your home for Jacksonville University basketball.
The Dolphins splash into the ASUN semifinal. JU North Alabama tomorrow night at 7 on 1010 AM.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Elevate your happy hour at the new Duo Restaurant and Lounge on Bay Meadows Road. Inspired by the vibrant and diverse culinary traditions of the Mediterranean, Duo has a unique South Florida vibe and welcoming atmosphere. Savor handcrafted cocktails and delicious happy hour specials every Monday to Friday, 5 to 8 p.m. Whether kicking back after work or starting your night in style, Duo Restaurant and Lounge on Bay Meadows Road is where good times and great flavors meet. DuoLoungeJacks.com.
Call the deck guys if you want a brand new deck pavers or more. Call 904-813-2474.
TheDeckGuysJacks.com. Tired of drafty, noisy vinyl windows? It's time to say goodbye to vinyl. And hello to lasting comfort with Renewal by Andersen Windows and Doors. Our exclusive Fiberx windows are 2 times stronger than vinyl, more energy efficient, and custom built to fit your home perfectly. No more warping, no more cracking, just beautiful, durable windows that stand the test of time. Right now, get special financing or save big with limited time discounts. Call Renewal by Andersen today and say bye-bye vinyl. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com. Don't wait. Upgrade today. License number CGC 1527613.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On March 5th, 1985, Mike Bossy of the New York Islanders scores his 50th goal, becoming the first NHL player to score 50 goals in 8 consecutive seasons.
Your yard starting to look a little like a jungle? Well, it might be time for a little TLC. Or how about RTC, Russell Tree Care? At Russell Tree Care, they give your trees the perfect haircut. Whether it's trimming or removing, they'll make sure your yard looks its best, all while keeping safety as a top priority. Call Russell Tree Care today and let them take care of your trees. Russell Tree Care, 844-4Mr. Wood. That's 844-467-9663. Or visit RussellTreeCareLLC.com today. Your trees will thank you.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy, you look worried.
Worried? I'm apoplectic!
You're what now?
I'm freaking out, Jason. Stupid water heater crapped out, so I haven't showered since Thursday. I start smelling a little funky, blow my big corporate job interview tomorrow, I'll end up settling for some dead-end career selling spatulas on the internet.
Dude, stay cool.
There's nothing cool about a cold shower, Jason. I mean, I know how that sounds, but...
Bueller Air and Plumbing can get a new water heater installed today. The day you call. You could be smelling fresh again by dinner time.
Wait, you can do that?
Put on these sunglasses.
Whoa.
Is that cooler?
Oh, yeah.
Well, life moves pretty fast. If you spend much more time smelling like this, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
If you never saw Zeppelin live, now you can know what it's like. And if you did, relive the magic of Led Zeppelin live. Get the Let Out is back at Florida Theater March 12th. Get the Let Out. Find out what it felt like to see Zeppelin live. Get tickets now at floridatheater.com.
Jacksonville runs on dreams, and Haymaker Coffee is a local brand fueling the next generation. Keep each day strong with a Haymaker. Fuel for the morning hustle, the late night, and every step of the way. Bold flavors for the bold city. Online at haymakercoffeeco.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
College basketball, 7th-ranked Alabama at home. They're up 17-15 over 5th-ranked Florida. A lot of basketball left there. Florida State goes at 13-0 in baseball. They knock off Bethune-Cookman today 9-7. That is a final. The Gators right now up 3-0 over Florida Atlantic. That is in the bottom of the 5th inning. And let me see. Miami up 6-1 right now over Villanova. That is in the bottom of the 4th as well. Was there JU or UNF? I don't see them listed here. So I'm under the impression that neither one of those two teams are playing on this Wednesday night. John Oehser, that was pretty interesting, Dylan. He was, I mean, he came right out and said it. Ingram would have been the one that he moved along from, not Christian Kirk. I mean, obviously I'm studying or have studied the numbers, but, acquiring $10.44 million compared to under $6 million you bring back from Ingram, that certainly figured into why Ingram is the guy that I would keep.
Yeah, it seems like if you asked most people, they would have said that they would have moved on from Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like more of this week as we got closer that there was a lot more chatter that there was more speculation that they were going to move on from Ingram, which is kind of surprising to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just from the cap number of Kirk.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that stuck out to me was, I guess, really is not a surprise that they're probably not going to have a big splash next week in free agency, especially the receiver position. I feel more like they're going to get a bridge guy. Somebody like an Amari Cooper, like where fans, like, we're going to come in next week and we're going to be like, really? Like, we really wanted someone else, but it's just going to be one of those things where they're going to want a guy for a year or two, and then that's going to be that.
Cooper Kupp's a name we keep hearing. You know, that's and he's got ties, obviously, to Liam Cohen in his days in Los Angeles, and as well, James Gladstone with what he was with him as well, and that's it's a little bit of a concern to me. It's going to be more cost effective, you would think, but I just don't know if that is the direction that I would go. I appreciate the intel from John Oehser, and I seem to believe that he and I are thinking in a similar fashion here. But I want to be very clear. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, it could be Monday afternoon, and bam, they could bring in Chris Godwin, and bam, they could make a run and bring in any of these top free agents, Mekhi Becton, or whoever it may be, Will Fry. I don't see that. I think they address safety. I think they address corner. But does that mean they're going to go and overspend for Carlton Davis? Does that mean they're going to go and spend for Brian Young? They're going to go and spend for Asante Samuel Jr.? I don't know. I'm very fascinated by this approach. Again, my guess is safety, a corner, and you're going to hear about an end. Or you're going to hear about a defensive tackle that is not a household name. but they believe can give them something. After Hines, Allen, and Walker last year, what did you get? You got 3 sacks from Mason Smith. You got 2 sacks from Eric Armstead. You got 3 from, I think Roy Robertson Harris had 3, who obviously they traded. So, yeah, I do think some fans are going to be a little bit disappointed by this. Want to welcome in everyone watching us on YouTube tonight on Into the Night. Who is the golf franchise? And why aren't we friends? If you're talking about a golf franchise here in Jacksonville or anything that is golf related, I mean, why haven't we hooked up yet? Okay. Golf franchise now says just go pay Von Miller for a 2-year deal. What does he have left? What's he going to cost? You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to as far as I am concerned. All right, let me find this for you. Just give me 30 seconds on this. I complain about it on Twitter because it's driving me crazy, and this is the pursuit of the National Hockey League all-time scoring record, goals, I should say, by Alex Ovechkin, passing Wayne Gretzky. Okay. I was always a huge Ovechkin fan. I think he is the best goal scorer in the history of the game. But the way he has approached this record is totally tainted. Okay? He has 8 or 9 empty net goals this year. He has 64 empty net goals in his career. I think Gretzky has 56, right? But there's such a difference. Glenn Sather never took Wayne Gretzky when Edmonton was winning all those games and said, go on out there and get an empty netter up 3 goals. Alex Ovechkin never, ever, ever plays in a shorthanded situation. When the Capitals have 4 guys out there and the opponent has 5, Ovechkin's on the bench. He is never out there. Yet, when you pull the goalie and it's 6-on-5, Ovechkin is always out there to allow him to cherry pick and get the empty net goal. And the one he got a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if you saw this, Dylan, he literally took a slap shot. It was a 6-3 game. He took a slap shot, and they reviewed it. It went through with 1/10 of a second remaining. In my mind, this is sabotaging a phenomenal National Hockey League record, okay? Have some respect for this record. Not empty netter after empty netter after. I just said it. You are going to go down as the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL. Why taint yourself with all of these empty net goals? And while you're at it, here's one. 64 empty net goals for Alex Ovechkin. Find out how many empty net assists Alex Ovechkin has. I think he's got 1, okay? Because it's simple. It's him. Shoot. You're the sniper. You're the goal scorer. And, yeah, it's bothered me. I love old school hockey. People say, oh, well, if he didn't have the lockout, it wouldn't have been the case. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You got open ice now. You got 200 feet ice. Back in the day with the original 6, you had 180 feet barns. You didn't have the 2-line. You had the 2-line pass. You couldn't cherry pick. They lifted the red line. They said, let's play Olympic-style hockey. Let's play collegiate-style hockey because they wanted more scoring, and they got it. But people, there was a lock. Look it up. Look at what the original players had to deal with. They actually had to play hockey. They had to play defense. So that's what really bothers me. Gretzky played in shorthanded situations. Gretzky played the game the way it was supposed to be played. Glenn Sather never sent him out to say, hey, go cherry pick and get yourself an empty net goal. It was never even thought of. It just happened because he was the greatest to ever play. But if you track his career, he played every game. Power play, shorthanded, empty net. Not Ovechkin. So there. A couple people asked me about that. I hope you understand why I feel that way. And I do. How are we in breaks? We got one more coming up? Or
Yeah, we
good?
got one more. We can take a couple minutes here.
All right, good. Sometimes I, when I get so passionate about Washington Capitals hockey, it's going to throw some people off. They're in action tonight, as a matter of fact. It's a weird year in the NHL. This thing is wide open. Rick, they got to make a play at Godwin, right? Otherwise, why not restructure? Well, again, we're talking about an injured guy. We're talking about a 28-year-old man that I saw a couple of projections where he was going to sign like a 2-year, $40 million deal in Tampa, and I was like, damn, that's a good deal for Tampa. $20 million a year is pricey, but I'm thinking these wide receivers are going to want 3-4-year deals, way up close to $100 million. Still a very productive guy, but I'd be surprised if he does end up leaving Tampa Bay. People used to yada about Kirk, the same ones complaining that we suck. We got the best generational quarterback in decades, a horrible patchwork line to protect him over the last 4 years. Provided him with weapons, Jones Jr., DJ Chark, Zay Jones, Laviska Shenault, Gabe Davis, massively overpaid for, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley. 1.2 years, and they stayed stone and admitted he did not understand the playbook. Not until year 4 did we draft a weapon in BTJ. This organization is not done right by this kid, and I hope they realize it now. You're preaching to the choir. Okay? I mean, I very rarely go through a show where I don't talk about addressing the offensive line. And I'd like to have them address 2 positions. I really would. And, the crazy one would be, would they do something with Walker Little? Because it's a brand new contract. And it may be they've walked into a bad contract, right? I happen to believe they're going to try to make it work with Little, all right? And they're going to try to improve Harrison. Obviously, the right guard has to be addressed, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if they brought in competition at center or they brought in competition at left guard. I think those are 2 guys. I hate to be this way, but I feel like if they walk out Ezra Cleveland and they walk out Mitch Morris, there are still going to be big-time problems when it comes to running the football, especially in short yardage situations. I have no proof that that's going to change. Final year for Mitch Morris. I think I want to say it's either the final year or maybe one left remaining for Ezra Cleveland. But, you mentioned a bunch of names there. It just hasn't worked out. There's been no consistency with any of those wide receivers. Let's see. Ezra Cleveland is signed through 2026. Okay? You're not going to cut him this year. It's an $11,600,000 dead cap figure. He is your starting left guard. And maybe they can try to piece things together with him for one more year. Next year, his contract goes down. The cap figure actually goes up to $9.9 million, but the dead cap money goes down to $4.2, and you could bring back $5.7. So, if I was to forecast things, I would say next year you're in the market for a left guard and a center if they don't address it. They're obviously going to address right guard. But if I was doing this show March 5th, 2026, and we're 4 days away or 5 days away from free agency, my guess would be left guard and center are going to be prime positions to upgrade. So why not do it now? You got the money. You can build these offensive linemen up. You really can. That's another part of this whole thing that is going to be very intriguing to me, is that Jacksonville has done a very poor job of getting numbers at offensive line, right? You can go back to Cam, fine, and Taylor, fine. Second-round picks. Anton Harrison, first-round pick. Walker Little, another second-round. But you start diving into later-round guys. All right, Luke Fortner was, a third-round. Ben Barch was, a third, fourth round. Didn't work out. Javon Foster, maybe he's got a chance. But that's what I'm talking about. They took Javon Foster last year, and they just basically said redshirt him. He's not going to figure in at all. He's a fourth-round pick. Let's try to build him up for a year. I know Cooper Hodges remains like, your favorite son. You're trying to Cooper Hodges. He's a seventh-round guy who can't get healthy. He's been hurt for 2 years. Right? I mean, fool me once, fine. Fool me twice, fine. And I just want to hear he's snake bit. If the guy can't play, the guy can't play. He's a seventh-round pick, so you can maybe stash him on the IR again, or maybe put him on the practice squad. I don't know. But this football team needs to get better as well with their 9 offensive linemen. Can only imagine what Tony Baselli thinks about this. Whether it's drafting young guys and developing them like Foster, like Cooper Hodges, or it's, just tracking this league. Cole Van Lanen is a restricted free agent. Blake Hance is an unrestricted free agent. Does any one of those two make sense? Maybe they do. As a backup, right? On game day, you need 4 good backups. So some do it with 3. Some do it with a swing tackle, swing guard, and a center. Fortner. You can save, $3 million? We got to head to this break. Let me see Fortner here for a minute. I know we've looked at these numbers before. Where the heck are you? Luke Fortner. Here we go. Luke Fortner. Damn ad pops up. Hey, Blue, ads pay yourself. Oh, yeah. No, I love ads, especially on the radio. You cut, this is the final year for Luke Fortner, right? You cut him. You got to eat $295 large. You recoup $3.4 million. So here we are talking about $47 million. You say goodbye to Josh Reynolds, that's $4.26 million. That puts you around $52 million. You get another $3.5 million with Fortner. This team could say goodbye to some of these players, bottom of the roster players that have not worked out. I think Luke Fortner is a strong candidate to be released. All right, we got much more to do. Take you up until 8 o'clock right here on this Wednesday.
It's the season of sandals and sundresses.
And the Players' Championship.
Listen for 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Channeled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Magnify.
And Kingfish Pest Control.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Are you thinking about a pool for your home? Blue Haven Pools is Jacksonville's largest pool builder. They've built pools for over 20,000 satisfied families since 2000. It's never been easier to design the perfect pool for your home, family, and budget. Call Blue Haven Pools today at 904-620-0090 to get a free in-home estimate for your in-ground pool, or visit bluehaven.com. Don't let another summer pass by without a pool. Join thousands of happy Jacksonville pool owners in a Blue Haven pool.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Hey folks, Hicken here for Zero Res. You're going to want to beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Hey, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts sort of like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Tell them Dan or 1010XL sent you. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. 1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Duck Rooter is the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, and we want to help you protect your septic system. Think about this. What would happen to your car if you never changed the oil? Septic systems are no different and should be pumped at least every 3 years. Lack of maintenance is the #1 reason for septic system failure. Call Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services today to schedule your pumping.
When you're stuck, call a duck. 904-862-6769.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
This is head coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF men's basketball team. When our players suffer an orthopedic injury, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists gets our players back on the court pain-free.
We appreciate the endorsements from our high school and college coaches. This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. Next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging in the mirror? Fine lines, sun damage, redness? They don't have to be part of your future. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, and I can help you look and feel your best without invasive surgery or painful treatments. Imagine rejuvenating your skin in a relaxing, comfortable environment with minimal to no downtime. Smooth out fine lines, even skin tone, and restore that youthful glow. Find out how to look and feel your best at Dermagnify.com. Dermagnify.com.
E.T. here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, visit my buddy Dr. McGowan at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. You have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits, even if you're at fault. And no matter what you hear, you have the right to choose your own doctor. So I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Their auto experts will guide you in every step of the way to ensure the care that you need. Your recovery starts with McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation.
It's game time for your business, and Advanced Business Solutions has the winning play. With Xerox copiers, you'll never miss a deadline. Fast, reliable, and built for high performance, Xerox copiers keep your team ahead of the competition. From printing to scanning, Xerox brings the MVPs of efficiency to your office. Ready to make the winning move? Hire the champions at Advanced Business Solutions. Veteran owned.
Printers, copiers, and IT management. Advanced Business Solutions.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
And reports are out that Christian Kirk will be released once the new year or the new league year officially gets underway, whether it happens during the legal tampering period on Monday or when the season officially does kick in. That'll bring back $10,440,000 that the Jaguars can use under their salary cap. Latest figures, $47,582,000. I would expect Josh Reynolds to get released as well. So put them right around $52 million that they can spend. They will have to eat a $13,650,000 dead cap money, which simply means this. It'll be applied against this year's overall salary cap, which I want to say is $279.2 million.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Gators up 36-35 over Alabama. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first half. Our buddy is Raphael Esparza joining us live from Las Vegas. All right, Raphael, we starting to get, picking teams to win the national title, or will that come in a little bit more once we get into these conference tournaments?
I think everyone's now betting conference tournaments just because every book has odds to win a conference tournament. I'm blown away. I know you guys are up in Florida and don't care about us people on the West Coast.
Right.
But how is the St. Mary's Gales plus 160 to win the WCC, and Gonzaga is the favorite? I know Gonzaga's been in the championship game since conference tournaments have started, but St. Mary's has beat them not once but twice this year. And Gonzaga's lost to Santa Clara this year. This is not the same Zags team, so I'm blown away on the St. Mary Gales being the underdog.
Yeah. How about Rick Pitino in St. John's?
The only thing that scares me about them, let's face it, the Big East stinks this year. So is that the reason why he's looked so well? I mean, yes, coach of the year. But if I'm St. John's, I don't want to go to the East.
No.
There's going to be some monster teams. I think maybe go out west. They're probably going to be third, fourth seed, depending on what happens in conference tournament. But that'd be too much pressure for them. If I'm the Johnnies, don't go to the East.
I'm shocked by the SEC. Obviously, the Gators have a couple of natties, but you look at these football schools: Auburn 1, Tennessee 4, Florida 5, Alabama 7. I mean, this is good stuff kicking up right now here in hoops.
It is now. If they don't win it, is it disappointing? I mean, they're probably going to get 12 teams in. I mean, there's still teams in the bubble: Oklahoma, Texas, maybe even Arkansas in the bubbles. Because you figure some of these SEC teams are probably going to play each other in the tournament. So I don't know if it's a good thing that they have this many teams or it's a bad thing. I'm going to have a prop bet how many SEC teams will be in a Final Four. When SEC or the field, when the bracket gets released, just because they're going to have the most. Big Ten will probably get 10, so SEC will probably get 12, 13, I'm thinking.
Felt like there was a lot of uncertainty coming out of this year's NFL Combine with top prospects. They continuously found something wrong with about everyone, and you look at Mel Kiper, none of his top 10 prospects didn't even work out. So with that said, has anything changed dramatically at the window as far as betting who will be the first overall pick?
I think what we learned coming out of the Combine is I think Cam Ward will be the first quarterback. I'm not saying number one because I'm hearing some grumblings of trades and something can happen, but I'm hearing the first quarterback is just pencil it in. It's Cam Ward. Now, Jackson Dart, a lot of noise came out of him, so he might boost his stock up there. But I just think once we know for sure, I think Cam Ward will be the first quarterback picked.
Yeah, we'll see. That's going to be interesting. What are you going to set it at? 4 first-round trades, 5 first-round trades? What's your number going to be?
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be very interesting to see what happens on that one. But correct me if I'm wrong, the best athlete in this draft is Travis Hunter. So why wouldn't you want to have him as your number one pick? I don't understand.
He's got small hands. He's got small hands. That's why.
Small hands.
Hey, next Wednesday night, we'll be talking all about the Players' Championship. We'll be on the eve of what most people consider the 5th major. What about Arnold's tournament? Gets underway tomorrow in Bay Hill. You guys getting more money than normal for that, or is it basically around the same?
It's around the same because you just said the 5th championship is just around the corner, and I tell people that's when golf betting action comes in. That place in I almost said Jacksonville, but it's St. Augustine. that play is the boost of golf betting for the rest of the summer. So right now it's just peanuts, but next week will be a lot more peanuts.
It is honestly right between Jacksonville and St. Augustine. It is in the renowned Ponte Vedra. Where your money wouldn't be good there. Your money would not be good in Ponte Vedra. I'm just telling you that right now.
My brother-in-law lives there, and his kids went to that high school. So I know exactly where it's at, and so I drive past it every time I'm in that area, which I'm in that area a lot.
All right. Sounds good. Ralphie, always a pleasure. Looking forward to really looking at the odds and who to take next Wednesday night here on the eve of the Players' Championship. Thank you.
Take it easy. Have a great weekend.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Next week's going to be insane with free agency and the Players' Championship, but this continues to be a very busy week. You're not surprised by Christian Kirk, but how do you feel after the move has been made?
Yeah, not surprised. It's a shame that injuries kind of derailed what he was doing here. I'm curious, how he's going to be remembered from Jaguar fans. A great guy, 168 catches in 3 years here in Jacksonville. Got a lot of grief after that contract. It's not his fault the Jaguars paid him that. It was a great deal for him. And I think in year one, he lived up to it. 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. He was fantastic. Unfortunately, back-to-back season-ending injuries kind of is going to skew a little bit what I think he could have accomplished here.
Yeah. And what do you got coming up tonight?
Yeah, there's a lot coming up. Obviously, Mark Long of the Associated Press. We're going to have him on to react to the Christian Kirk release, preview free agency as well. Also, one of my favorites, Ryan Fowler of the Draft Network, to kind of look at the draft and the combine, post-combine, preview free agency with him. And Cody Benjamin of CBS Sports. So it's all Jaguars, all NFL, all the time over the next 2 hours with a sprinkling of Florida-Alabama updates. Halftime in Tuscaloosa, the Gators up 41-40. Very much a back-and-forth game going on right now.
Number 5 at number 7. Bama with a small lead early on, but Florida now up by 1 as we go to the halftime break. Have a great show.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, coming up tomorrow night, you seen him on Twitter, Yardline Yoda? I'm going to bring him on. He's got a whole bunch of interesting stuff out there. Let's see what he's all about. So that'll be during tomorrow night's program, among other things. Thank you to King Blood on YouTube, Thomas Prim on YouTube, CRS092 on YouTube. The YouTube continues to grow. I still want to find out who the golf franchise is. And again, I can't understand why we're not best friends. But that's going to do it. Thank you to Rafael Esparza. Thank you to John Oehser. Dylan Denmark is the producer. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock.